All right, sorry. For some reason, my hands were dirty. I don't know how it happened, but it did. All right, so let's get busy here. Let me poke that again, just to make sure. All right, so I went ahead and poked another hole. Or not another hole, just poke through it. We're going to go ahead and I'm just going to put a little bit. And there's tons of YouTube videos on this, so I'm sure this isn't a first for anybody watching. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. It seems easy when you've done a few, but when you're first starting out, it's not that easy. So I go ahead and I set it in there. I'm going to go ahead and use one of these eye pins here. All right, so, and then I just go ahead and make sure all the corners are covered. And you don't have to wait for this to dry to add the glamour glaze. You don't have to wait. You can just put it right on top. Oh, and I printed these on photo paper, inexpensive photo paper, and that's what makes them look super shiny. So like, this one's trying to pop up on me, but it won't hurt anything because it's gonna go right down, back down. All right, so that part is done. And then now we're gonna go ahead and use the glamour glaze. All right. And I'm sure I've left the lid off this. Yep, for a few minutes since it showed some resistance there. Okay. And it's coming out and it looks cloudy, but it dries completely clear again. So I go around the edges first. Let me try to get it as close so you can see. I will put it around the edges. Oops, sorry, I was out of frame for a second. All right, and go around the edges some more. Right? Okay, you can see it's all around the edges. Now I'm just going to fill it in. And I like a thick layer on there. You don't have to put a thick layer. You can do a thin layer, but I like it. And then just look for air bubbles. You will get air bubbles as it settles sometimes, but the Anti-House is much better than the glossy accents at not getting air bubbles. So let me see. Okay. So now you can see it's all, the image is all covered, and this one dries pretty quick, but I would still give it like overnight, definitely till the next morning to dry, and then you can punch your holes. All right, so we're going to set that aside, and we're going to start with the beading. All right, so let's see, we need a couple more eye pins. Let me grab them from back here. And you use eye pins when you want to add charms to the bottom and to the top of whatever you'll see once we start beading. Ouch! We need flesh cutters. I'll show you the tools first once we get started. I use these little ones. I bought these a long time ago in a Craftsman kit at Sears. And then I use these. These got a pretty fine point on them. And I usually take out a couple of different ones depending on what I'm doing. And we need some round nose pliers too. Let's see. Which ones shall I use today? Let's see. I think we'll use these. These will work good. So we'll start with that. All right. So the first thing we want to do is make some baubles. So we're going to probably start with these pink ones. So we're just going to make just a bauble. So we are going to just use a head pin. We don't need an eye pin for this. So I like to, even though it's just a bauble, I like to put a little spacer, but that hole's pretty small. Let's see how that goes. It's still pretty small. So I think that we should definitely put a little spacer at the bottom. Like a little spacer bead. We'll do a little tiny bead just to make sure that it holds in place. So I'll probably put a little tiny spacer on there. There's that one. And then we're going to put our large bead on here. And then we're going to put a bead cap. And here's a bead cap. And that is what our bead is going to look like. Our little bauble. Okay? All right, so now you want to, everybody does it differently. Let's move this out of the way. So we're going to start, here's this. I don't glue anything. I do with the hat pins, but with this I don't. So we're going to bend it. Let's see if you can see that. We're going to bend it like at a 90-degree angle. Then we're going to, and all we're doing is we're gonna make an eye. That's all we're gonna do. So I bought the whatever this is called. I don't remember what it's called, but it does the eye pin for you. Get some tweezers and pull this out. I got the vintage one off of I don't know, whatever that's called, beads something. I don't remember, but yeah. So we're gonna use that because it's a lot easier. So let me see if you can see this a little bit better. That's my husband outside mowing, if you hear that mower. You're just gonna go through. It's hard to see, but you're gonna go through here and through the back hole until you get to where your loop is. Let me move my hand out of the way if I can. I'm gonna try. There. All right, and then I'm gonna try to turn it so you can see it. And then you're gonna see it turn it and then make a loop-ish. So yeah, it was hard. The angle was hard, but it works really, really good usually. But because of the angle I was at, it wouldn't really fit that well. But we're going to we're just gonna finish it off. All right. This is hard to do in frame, so I'm going to try my best to get it in frame. There. There we go. All right. There we go. This is being very annoying, of course. Now that I'm on camera, it's being difficult, but every other time it works perfectly fine. There we go. All right. And it's not a perfect circle, but it's going to hold the charm, and that's what matters. So there is our bauble. Okay, there's one. We don't need a bunch because we're just making one charm. So we're going to go ahead and make another charm. I'm going to use a eye pin this time because I want to hang something off the bauble off the bottom of it. Let's see, where do we want to start here? We'll start with another little pink pearl like this. There's the little pink pearl. And then we'll go with this one. This one's it's crackled. It's really nice. Well, let's go ahead and put a spacer in there. I think it'll look good with the spacer. There's a little tiny spacer. Let's see if that's gonna work. I don't know how people fake nails bead. I cannot do it. I think they look nice, but to me they're not. I don't know. I just can't figure it out. But there we go. Okay, there's that one. And then we're going to add another spacer bead. Actually, let's put a bead cap on that. So here we go. There's a bead cap. There's a bead cap. And you can mold it to it. I don't think it's important. It'll stick fine once we put our last finishing bead on top. And I think we're going to go with one of these. These are actually really nice. Yeah, we'll go with that. Let me see. Here's one that's really, I like the ones that are really clear. And we'll go with that, like that. And then I'll put a little finishing bead at the top. So we'll put a spacer on there. And it's flat on top, so it'll hold a small spacer there. Just put this on there. All right, and then we're going to put a small bead on top, probably a medium-sized pearl bead, right? We'll see, because we got to have enough room to make an eye at the top. So, but that looks pretty good. I think we'll probably use, yeah, this will be a bead dangle for that. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and make this with this off camera because it didn't work out last time. I tried to do it off camera. So see? All right, now of course it did it just like it's supposed to. And then all you have to do is close it. So all you have to do is get it and close it. That is a little, let me see here. That didn't go down enough to hold the bead in place. Let me see this here. All right, I gotta do this off camera because I can't see there. Sorry. I'll try to do it on camera so you can see what I'm doing, because that's what the purpose of this tutorial is to show you. Let me see here. There. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go, I know how I'm going to do it. We're just going to go turn, turn, and turn one more. Okay, there we go. And then I'm just going to straighten it up because it's leaning. Let's see, just straighten it out the best you can. No one cares. Trust me, when you give them the charm, they don't care if it's straight. They just care that it looks pretty. I mean, it can't be bent over in half, but that does not look good. I don't like that, but let me see this right here. Take this off and use another head pin. I don't like the way that looks. That looks awful. And it doesn't matter if you take it, it's fine. These are not, head pins are not expensive, so. Oh. All right, let's put it back together again. There's one. And then we'll put the little one on. All right, and then we're going to put our crackle bead on, and then we're going to put our bead cap. Oops, fell out of my hand. And then our spacer bead. Actually, we're going to put our little bead like that, and then a spacer bead, and then a pearl. Oops, and a pearl. All right, so now we're back in business again. All right, we're going to try this again, only I'm not going to use that tool. If you just have one bead on there, it's okay, but I've got a lot. There's a lot going on here, so we're going to flip it just like that, and then we're gonna actually turn this around, and then we're going to twist, turn your pliers, twist, twist, and then twist, oops, twist, twist, just like that. Now it looks weird. It looks like, oh yeah, there's a thing hanging off of it. No, that's not going to be there. We're going to flush cut this. All right, and then we're going to straighten out and put it back. There we go. All right, and there's our little eye. There we go. All right, and I'm trying not to make it have to look perfect, but you do want to make sure that it's completely closed, or your stuff will not stay on, and you will not be happy if it falls apart. And I've had that happen before too. So now we've got 2 beads, and I like to do 3 bobbles on the bottom. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, when you do this, cover it. Make sure you cover it.